It's Hannah.
And Trevor.
And it's Disney Pinsomniac. And today we are here with another edition of hashtag CCPP, which is Celebrating Collections, People, and Pins. This is hosted by Val at Val Singer Family... as Singer Family Adventures, excuse me. And we have a bunch of people who participate in this every month. We show off our different collections revolving around a specific theme. So we will link a bunch of creators in the description. Make sure to check them all out. They all have their own unique takes on this theme. And what's our theme this month, Trevor?
The theme this month is Inspiring Women and Girls.
Yeah, so this month of May is Inspiring Women and Girls, and then Inspiring Men and Boys will be next month. So be sure to check back again next month when we have that. We are going to show just a part of our collection, really, that focuses on girls and women. I don't think we show any girls. I don't think we're going to show any girl pins. And we only are doing humans. So that's how we interpret it. We didn't want to do, like, female pets or like Minnie Mouse.
Like women is really what
we focused on women. So without further ado,
let's get into it.
Okay, so let's start off with our princess collection. Now, we don't collect all of the princesses super seriously, but these are just from sets that we like, that we've opened, that we've got. We've, like, in the boxes, the princesses that are on here are the ones that we've got. So, I think that, the princesses, I know that there are some old-fashioned, depictions of women, sometimes in some of these films. However, the stories really are about them. I mean, it's Ariel's story. It's it's not Jasmine's story, actually. I think it's probably more accurately Aladdin's story because it's called Aladdin. But it's Belle's story. It's Merida's story and Snow White's story, even though Snow White we like to give a little bit of a hard time because she's pretty boring. So I just wanted to do kind of an overview of the princesses that we have. Let's start with these up here in the corner. We have Aurora, and we have these 3 pins of hers, and these 2 of Snow White. Now, again, I don't find either of their stories particularly inspiring, but I do think that they are important characters. Does that make sense? Trevor, do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, Aurora looks really powerful in that pin, the big one of her. I really like it. She looks really cool.
She does. She looks like she's gonna cause some damage.
I like that one.
Yeah, it's really nice. Moving down to maybe a more, I'm gonna say, commonly thought of as a more powerful character or inspiring character. Here we have there's a Belle-themed can of water, rose water. Here we have some Belle pins. Now, these are from mystery boxes as well. I have them next to her castle here. But Belle is definitely, I think, for a lot of people, a really important character because she is, she has a personality. Like, I would say, like, a pretty distinct personality throughout the movie. Trevor really likes Belle. What inspires you about Belle, Trevor?
I think that her story is really relatable in a lot of ways. I think that she sort of sees life outside of, like, her, like, humble beginnings, and she, like, has a lot of, like, dreams and a lot of these aspirations, and I feel like it's a really admirable trait. And I also feel like she's, like, an intelligent person as well, which I think is a really, really cool trait that she has.
Yeah, she definitely, I think like Trevor said, and here's another pin of her, she's definitely relatable in the sense that she wants life out in the great wide somewhere. She wants something more than just the stereotypical life. Personally, I think that part of her is definitely the most relatable. And then honestly, like, I feel like a lot of that movie, at least the beginning of the movie with the story with Gaston, is a lot of pushing back against a lot of the stereotypes of women during the time period that Belle was around, because she's from a time period where women reading was not a good thing necessarily. Good thing. So she's inspiring for pushing back against that.
And, you know, love or hate the new movie, I feel like it really does a good job developing her character in a way that's more complex and kind of makes a little bit more sense in the context of the story than the original does, in my opinion. Yeah,
Trevor really likes the new movie. Okay, moving down here, we have Jasmine, and we're gonna go kind of quick through these mostly just because
we have a lot of pins.
We have a lot of pins, and I really just wanted to highlight the princesses as all inspiring women and girls. Jasmine, Trevor loves Jasmine. I actually have a laptop sticker that says "Not a prize to be won," because I think that Jasmine is a fiercely independent character who wants to make decisions for herself. And for me, that's inspiring, especially in a place where you could really easily just sit back and let the fairy tale go to you and come to you. She's like, nope, I'm going to do this for me and my way, and I am not something that you can just win over or that's going to fit into your plan.
Yeah.
So I definitely think that she is inspiring in that way. I really think that she is a good example of that. Then we have 3 Pocahontas pins right here. We recently rewatched Pocahontas after we've given it so much crap. We felt like we had to rewatch it. And I have to say that a lot of our problems with the movie come from the fact that it is saying that it's a historical movie, right? Or like loosely based on real characters. I think a lot of the problems with the movie could have been fixed if they had just made characters that weren't Pocahontas and John Smith. Like, they should have changed the names and had different characters. But she's inspiring. I love how free she is, and I think as a little girl I was always really bummed out that she didn't end up with the with John Smith. You know, that was like really frustrating to me. But now as an adult watching it, I think it's a much better movie that way. So
yeah, it's actually a pretty good movie. It's just, we like Hannah said, and how we both agree that it just should have been its own independent story.
Yep.
Free from the kind of a disturbing actual true story behind Pocahontas. And John Smith. The real people. And I don't even think they knew each other in there. I can't remember. But I know that she was subjected to a lot of horrific things. And John Smith was, like he actually, I think is kind of portrayed in the beginning of the movie, really good at killing Native Americans. So I think they really should have picked different characters to base it off of. And if you ignore the absolute history of it, which I don't think you really can, it's a nice story. So, but she's inspiring and wonderful. She's gorgeous as well, which you know. Then we have over here Moana. When I saw Moana in the theaters, I did cry. I just am going to be honest with you, because she is such a strong character who really, I think, similar to Belle, where she wants to find something more than what is expected of her. But for me, I really relate to that desire to explore and travel that I feel like she really has, like in her, like this like deep desire to experience things and see the world. And I'm inspired by her selflessness that she exhibits as she realizes that she can help the people around her while still accomplishing the things that she wants for herself. And I think I'm really also inspired by the way that she, I'm going to say, is following the footsteps of those who came before her, and is who she is because of her past and like the people that raised her and her people. So I find that inspiring. Trevor, any thoughts? Yeah, I totally agree. I think it's relatable, but also it's like, yeah, for her, it was like this deep, innate desire to go out and explore and find something new, and I think that's really an amazing, awesome trait that she has.
Yeah, and very relatable. It did make me cry. Now, we do have we have our redheads all next to each other here.
Yeah.
Ariel is, quite frankly, not my favorite princess. She's a good example of, it's Ariel's story, but like I'm not particularly inspired by her, but I wanted to include her because, again, I think all of the princesses have inspiring moments and they are awesome. Now, Merida, we recently rewatched it. Trevor thought he hated this movie and rewatched it. What did you think after we rewatched it?
It's okay. I don't hate it. It's okay though.
Yeah, Merida is a really great character. I do think that she grows a lot, and that's really inspiring. I do think she comes to know her mistakes and recognize them, which is really good. I don't love all of the making fun of Scottish language that's in that movie. That's its own side note, but that's just comic relief. I think that there's a lot of making fun of Merida as being like the weird Pixar princess, I'm gonna say. Like in Wreck-It Ralph Breaks the Internet. I don't think she deserves a lot of the dislike that people have. Yeah. I definitely feel pretty strongly about that she doesn't deserve hate for it. I think that her story is about her, and she grows a lot, and she's a woman who doesn't fit the mold for the time period. But I think one of the things that is most inspiring about this I actually think that one of the things that's the most inspiring about this movie in terms of like women and girls is actually a character that we don't have any pins of, which is her mom. I think that her mom and her have a really special relationship, and Merida doesn't see her mom as her ally and sees her instead as her captor and her, and she doesn't relate to her at all. And I think that that's something that a lot of girls feel like with their moms sometimes growing up. And in reality, I think now as I'm a little bit older, I really relate to her mom, who is trying to set her up for a life of success in a time where women are not treated as maybe she might personally think that they should be. So, anyways.
Yeah, I feel like her mom is a really great character, and I agree that Merida grows a lot, but definitely, like, watching it again, I'm like, dang, like, gotta stop taking it out on your mom, dude. Like,
yeah. Here is our just general princess board. You may notice that we do not have all of the princesses here. We are missing Rapunzel. She's great and inspiring, but we don't have any pins of her. We're also missing, let's see, who else are we missing?
Mulan's not on here, is she?
Mulan's not on here because Mulan is on her own board. So, that actually brings up our next board. Now, we have three main princesses that we actually, I'm going to say, collect more. The other ones, like I said, most of those are just from mystery sets and some sets that we want to complete. Like, we want to complete all of the princesses in the squares. Let's start with Cinderella. She is the smallest out of the princesses that, like, I'm gonna say, we collect heavily. I think that Cinderella, I'm not going to say that she is underrated because she is, I think, people really love Cinderella. But in terms of, like, as a, like, inspiring female character, I don't think that she is often seen that way. A lot of people really love the new adaptation. I have actually not seen it. So this is a very, like, different thing than that. So what I'm going to talk about, I think, is primarily from the original.
Uh-huh.
I know there's a lot of people who talk a lot about have courage and be kind. I think that's a great motto. But I think the thing that inspires me about Cinderella the most is that she never gives up. Now, I think that at face value, you might think that she's a passive person who just lets other people treat her poorly. And I don't think that that's true. I think that she's someone who believes that if you do good, that good will come to you. And I appreciate that and I'm inspired by that. So we have a few pins here. I think my favorite one that we have here is this one. Trevor, do you have any thoughts on Cinderella?
I think that one, like, a very obvious quality she has is that she is like, she like sees a task ahead of her. She like visualizes her goals, what she wants, and she's like, I'm gonna work to get there. And I think that like shows up a few times in the film. Now, that can be to like no avail in the case of like trying to go to the ball and then it being thwarted by her, you know, stepsisters and stepmother. But like she was like, you know, we're gonna make this happen basically. And I think that I guess I would say that she's a determined individual.
Yeah.
I think is like a really good, basically all-encompassing word for that.
And I'm sorry, a lot of people I think get the wrong idea about this film and think that she is just like wants to like find a prince. And I don't think that that's true. I think that she wants freedom from her circumstances, and she falls in love with the prince. She doesn't even realize that he's the prince.
No, she doesn't even know it's him at the ball, so.
So, anyways. Now we're going to come down to the true hardworking queen herself.
Oh, yes.
Now, okay, this is kind of funny, but when we first started pin collecting, I thought we were going to collect more Cinderella than Tiana because blue is my favorite color and I love the aesthetic of the movie Cinderella. So I was like, we'll get lots of Cinderella pins. And then it did not take like even like a few weeks of pin collecting before I was like, yeah, we're going to be collecting like all Tiana. Like that's just what it is. So I love Tiana. She's my favorite princess. I have so much that inspires me, but let's do a little overview of the pins. Do you have any thoughts about what inspires you about Tiana before I go into a whole, let's start over here.
To play off of that one pin, she's an incredibly ambitious woman, an ambitious princess in the Disney lineup. I think that obviously similar to what I was saying about Cinderella, but I'd say it's doubly true here. She's extremely hardworking and dedicated and you know, to a fault, I think at the beginning a little bit, but she is incredibly motivated and doesn't see, she doesn't let her crappy circumstances slow her down really, you know, and it's really, really admirable and a really strong trait.
Now you may notice that we have two pins of this that are the same. We have this pin and this pin that are actually right here. These two are the same pin, but they are different colored. I think they are both authentic. I cannot tell. But they're just slightly different colors, so I've kept both of them. It's an open edition pin, so. Tiana is like one of my all-time role models, which might sound funny as an adult, to talk about a princess. I was going through a really rough time in high school, and I watched Princess and the Frog like every week for a little bit of a spell there. First of all, I think that I have to mention that she's the first African-American black princess, and I think that she, I would say, had a lot of pressure on her as a character. There was a lot of pressure on Tiana to be a lot of things, and I think that she is really, truly inspiring. There is a line in the movie where the stupid realtors are like telling her basically, a woman of your background should maybe dream a little smaller. And I personally find that as a woman, I know that there are people who think that women should dream a little smaller, and especially women of certain backgrounds. I would say there's a lot of, you should dream a little smaller, hope a little less, and Tiana just refuses to do that. She refuses to be told that she can't do it. I also, one of my favorite themes of, and I'll just over here so you can see something different instead of me just talking. One of my absolute favorite things about her and her relationship with Naveen is just that she is who she is, and instead of, I feel like a lot of the times in the world, people will send the message that you have to choose if you want true love or hard work, or you have to like follow your dreams or settle down. And she is able to find someone who wants to help her achieve her dreams. And that is really inspiring to me. I also think she is like one of the most gorgeous princesses. Last 2D film that the studio made, and I think it's a really special film. Now, I do have to just do a little highlight of this pin. This is one of my favorite pins. It is pretty tiny, but it says, confident, strong, smart, and beautiful. This was for International Women's Day.
Love this pin.
I love this pin. Now, I do think that there's been a little bit of controversy about the fact that, like, they just chose the attribute beautiful for Tiana. But I do think that was maybe a deliberate choice just because, and maybe I'm reading too much into this, but we know that European beauty standards are really praised in the media and the world. And so I think that her being the choice for, if you're going to use the word beautiful, I think that that's a really awesome character to describe as beautiful, because unfortunately throughout the world, not everywhere and not at every time has she been considered beautiful, even though she is. So this actually has two of my favorite princesses right here, Mulan and Tiana, and I gotta say, it's Mother's Day, and if my mom watches this video, I want to give a little shout out to my mom, that I'm grateful to have been raised by a confident, strong, smart, and beautiful woman. Well, now we'll go to this giant pin I have here. This is a fantasy pin, and this will lead us right into the next princess that we're going to talk about. Next character is Mulan. Now, I will try not to talk too much about Mulan, because Mulan is, I think, I was about to say, I think she's my absolute all-time favorite, but I just said Tiana's my absolute all-time favorite. They've got to be tied. They're really, truly, like, I love them. But Mulan, it is hard for me now as an adult to watch Mulan without getting emotional. It's just a really special movie to me. Grew up watching it. I love this depiction of her as a Jedi warrior here. I think it's super cool. This is a fantasy pin. I love the flower in her hair. I love that she's in the blue dress that she wears. It's like sandblasted details, kind of glittery, and the back, it is she is in the light side princesses from Tomorrowland Design, and I can't remember what the limited edition size is, but I know it is a limited edition. This is a B grade. I don't know where it is B grade. I can't tell. It has really sparkly border as well. Now let's move into the next princess. Okay, now we're moving into, again, probably my other all-time favorite princess that just, I mean, she's going to be, I think, one of our biggest collections, which is Mulan. Trevor, what inspires you about Mulan?
Oh, man. What doesn't inspire me about Mulan and her story, right? It's super inspiring and just such a cool... She is, like, such a strong character in Disney, and is just so, like... Her story is just so cool, how she, like, rises up past all of these stereotypes and these ideals that she is supposed to represent and embody, and she, you know, rises above that, and it proves to be such a strong warrior and such a awesome, badass character.
Yeah, I agree completely. And we've showed a lot of these pins before, but there's a few more that I just want to highlight. I won't talk too much about Mulan because I have talked a lot about Mulan, but one thing I've been thinking a little bit about lately, I recently have seen some people talk about how Mulan is trying to indoctrinate this idea of not being the gender that you were born or assigned at birth. So, although I think that there will be a wonderful trans character someday, hopefully in the future, of Disney, and I look forward to that, I think that Mulan is really special in part because of the fact that she goes through this transformation, I'm gonna say, where she starts off as this peak, the most female you could possibly be, I'm gonna say, in her pink dress and the matchmaker outfit where she is done up, dressed to the nines, so to speak, being expected to be this perfect woman, to being completely shed of all of that to pretend to be a man, so that she can save her family and her father, to at the end, when she's found out she's in the blue dress that we have in the fantasy pin here, this blue outfit, and in her blue outfit is my favorite depiction of her, because you see her standing and winning and fighting as a woman with all of her strength and her experience, with her the lessons she learned as I'm gonna say both prepping for the most stereotypical matchmaking role, but then also as this amazing warrior. And you see her as like a fully complex, developed character who has truly found herself and recognized that she, in many ways, I feel like it's this depiction of her where she's not, she doesn't have to be a man to be strong. She can be herself fully, and she uses the fan to fight, and she's like fully a woman and fully herself in that moment. And like, to me, that is so powerful. I think in terms of inspiring women and girls, she's like this amazing, strong person. So I am inspired by her and her bravery. Okay, and then finally, we are going to show off just a small part of our Star Wars collection, which we have not done any pins for Star Wars. So this is kind of fun. We are huge Star Wars fans. I think that I like to rewatch the original trilogy once a year at least. And we've watched every animated show that and every spin-off and everything. We're counting down to the 27th of May. You know, we're big Star Wars fans. Now, one of the reasons I personally love Star Wars, besides growing up on it, is because I think we have some pretty badass female characters in here. So let's talk about them. First of all, I just want to say, Rey, unfortunately, despite the fact that her character growth, I really do feel like was kind of sacrificed for Kylo Ren's character development. I think that Rey is still an amazing character. A lot of people don't like her. You're gonna notice a theme here. I also cried during her movie when we did The Force Awakens, and when she was yielding Anakin Luke's lightsaber for the first time. I did cry in the theater, just because I really felt like the first time that I saw a Jedi depicted as someone who was like me, who looked like me, and filled a space in a way that I would. I really felt very emotional to see her in this really powerful, raw way. And so I really like Rey. Again, I do think that they really screwed up the character development of Rey in favor of making Kylo Ren a more developed character. I personally look forward to hopefully having more series that are spin-offs, or kind of like how the Clone Wars animated show kind of went back and kind of redid a little bit of the story between Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. I would really, really like Disney to do something like that brings a little bit more to her character that we can kind of see. Now, what do you think, Trevor?
Yeah, I agree. I don't have too much to add about Rey. I think that she's a great character. I think that particularly the third movie of the trilogy really, well, it made a lot of mistakes. One of those being some of the decisions made with her character, but I still think that she's a really cool character, and I still think that there's a lot that can be done in the future, like you said, as far as kind of adding to her backstory and character and her future past that movie.
Yeah, I think that the first two movies she has pretty good character. growth, especially in The Last Jedi. She does a lot with her growth with Luke as her instructor and trainer and master. She grows a lot in that movie, and then I just feel like a lot of it just goes away in the third movie.
Yeah, definitely.
The third movie is, quite frankly, one of the worst Star Wars films, if not the worst Star Wars film in existence. Anyways, we should give a whole hot take. We could talk 45 plus minutes about everything that went wrong and went right in the sequels and everything. So anyways, next up we have Padme here next to the word leader.
Yeah. We are rewatching the prequel trilogy in preparation for the new Obi-Wan Kenobi series coming out at the end of this month. And I have to say, I can definitely see parts of Leia's character in Padme.
Yeah, definitely.
In the second movie in particular. I think that she's actually a really great character in the second movie, and I never really realized that before watching it just recently. I think that like she's a really, really cool character, and I think that Hannah points out often, very aptly points out that in the third movie, I think they kind of like sideline Padme quite a bit, it feels like.
Oh yeah, I think that her character kind of devolved a little bit as well.
Yeah.
But that being said, I still really like her.
Yeah, really cool.
My favorite
really
depiction
cool.
of her is in the second movie, Attack of the Clones, just because I think she's really
she has
complex.
A lot of good looks. Yeah, definitely.
Trevor's like, she has a lot of good looks.
That's what I thought you meant, sorry. Depiction, I thought you meant like literal depiction.
No, but she's a really great leader. Now, to my favorite, on that note, I just have to throw this in there. So I do just have to show this picture of us a few Halloweens ago dressing up as Anakin and Padme. One other thing about her being a leader, you can see the whole fit here.
Yeah.
One other thing about her being a leader that I just want to call out is that I really appreciate, she's really young, but she takes herself seriously and works really hard despite maybe the challenges that might come from her being a young female in government. So I think she's a great leader in that way and really cares. Now my favorite princess /
female Star
Wars character is Princess Leia. Now,
the obvious choice, I would say.
She is, I think she's the most developed of any of the female characters in Star Wars, besides maybe Ahsoka in Clone Wars. But she's a really amazing character. Now, I used to have my one sad thing be about Princess Leia, that she didn't wield the Force. And then as I got more nerdy and watched more movies and read more material, I learned that it's actually canon that she is Force sensitive and that she chose not to be full-time in the Jedi world, but not because she didn't have the ability, the power, or the gifts to do so. So I think Princess Leia is an amazing character. She is smart. She's really, really smart and quick in her thinking and on her feet. I do think she is a trailblazer that does really amazing things, and I really love her. Pretty much every time I see her, I really like her. She is a great character and inspires me. Okay, Trevor, which is your favorite pin in our collection here that we showed today?
My favorite pin, I think it's got to be, at least one top contender is Princess Leia, the big Princess Leia one.
Yeah, the fake pin.
Fake pin, yeah. Love that pin. She looks so cool.
She does look super cool. I'm trying to think. I think that my favorite is going to be, I want to say that it's always going to be the Mulan pin.
I love the Mulan pin. Classic.
This Mulan pin, or also I think that my other favorites are the Leia that says like Trailblazer. I love that attribute for her. So yeah, but there's a lot of our favorite pins. My favorite pins in our whole collection are in this category. So I really enjoyed this prompt, and I'm grateful for Val putting this on this month.
Yeah, thank you.
Let us know what's your favorite pin that you saw, and let us know who inspires you that maybe we didn't feature today. And we hope that you all tune back next time. Give us a thumbs up if you like this video, and make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already.
And we'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks.